Hey folks in 7-8A, I am not here in the classroom today, so you will have a sub. Just want to kind of review what we're doing for today on day 8 of our Book Thief unit, and then we'll hop to it. We'll get to this Ignite in just a second from our interactive notebook on day 7. We'll have a few minutes to share our photo and the work that we did around that last class. But for our chunk today, I was going to have us talk about the EQ project, give you a chance to ask some questions about it or think about it. Since I'm not here, if you have any questions, do feel free to email me about that project. But if you go to the pacing map for today and look at day 8, which I'll get to right now, you'll see I linked the EQ project assignment on there. Once again, I encourage you to check that out. Again, read through the project, know what you're kind of shooting for. We will have more time to develop some work around this. In fact, we'll do some more of that in our interactive notebook today, but just know kind of what you're shooting for as you take a look at this project here. Again, you're going to have an afterword along with it, which is going to be an explanation of each piece that's in your project. And yeah, just take a look at that. Let me know if you have questions. We can talk about it next class too, but feel free if you have any urgent questions to email me about that. Looking back at the pacing map again, I was going to do a little MCA test prep today, but I know we did that in Flex today, and you're going to do some more of that in Flex tomorrow. If you want to do any additional prep for that test, I know a lot of people, they have test anxiety or they're just kind of wound up about having to take this MCA test. If doing a little bit more prep is going to help you to, you know, alleviate those fears or just help you feel more comfortable when it comes to actually taking the test, there's a link to the reading test prep right here. You'll want to select 7th grade. And you can go through, there's 4 different sections. You can go through 4 different selections. I know there's one longer passage, there's a poem, there's a couple other things, some are fictional, some nonfiction. And you'll be able to read through them with some questions. There's also an answer key with explanations if you want to kind of check your answers and see what was right and what was wrong. And this answer key is very thorough. So if you're interested in that, it's there for you. But you certainly don't have to do that, but I would check it out if you have a little extra time, even during class today. What else we want to do in class today is what I'll explain right now. Again, we're going to share our EQ photos for a few minutes in just a minute. But after that, I want you to get to the work. We've got 2 things to do in our interactive notebooks for today, which is to complete Death Diary and the Duden Dictionary words. And then we'll have some time, hopefully, for you to get started reading Part 7. Hopefully, you're still taking notes on your reading. We want you to keep reading with Part 7 for next class and to continue to take those notes. So let's look at those interactive notebook slides that you have on Schoology. The first thing, Death's Diary here. Any diary entry from Death's perspective, you're going to write about a recent event. This could be something in the news, even, think back even the last couple of years if you want to focus on something that's not so recent. But think about, we've gotten to know this narrator. We've kind of heard him talk. You can even go back to some of his entries on these page numbers and see if you can mimic that narrator's voice. Think about, how does this narrator come across in the book? How could you write like that? And think about his use of figurative language as well. Could you use some of that? Again, this would be something that might be something for your EQ project. So you could certainly go into this activity with your essential question in mind. And you have a slide then to write on right here. The next thing is this Duden Dictionary thing. Over on the sides where you'll see your directions, in Part 7, Death inserts 8 definitions from the complete Duden Dictionary and thesaurus. If you want to do this after you've read Part 7, you can, but you really don't need to read Part 7 in order to complete this. I want you to drag the words below here into this little chart that we've created for you. Place them in the table in some sort of order. You get to decide what order they go in. Then explain why you chose that order. It's got to be something more than just like alphabetical. Try to put some meaning behind why are you putting these words in the order that you're doing. So if you wanted to start, let's say with opportunity, drag it up there. and maybe you have a reason for starting with that word and you're going to go to something else next. But drag all those words in there in some sort of order and be prepared to explain your reasoning on this side. If you want to jump ahead in part 7 and look in the speaker notes, I put where these words appear in the Book Thief text. So if you haven't read part 7 and you want to kind of see why we're focusing on these words and where they come into the book, you can kind of check those pages. That's that. Once you are done with those activities, you should submit your interactive notebook. Again, just make sure you have this done before next class. So if you need a little extra time than the time that you have in class today, it's not due by the end of the class by any means. But again, then you'll have some time to read part 7 and take some notes on part 7. And that's pretty much what we're up to today. So again, email me if you have questions on the Essential Question Project or anything. And we're going to take the next 5 minutes or so right now to share the work that we did on day 7, the EQ photo that we created. We put a photo into those interactive notebooks, and then we did a little writing around that. So take some time to share with at least one other person in class. All right, I'll let you take it away then. Have a good rest of your day, and I might even see you by the end of class. We'll see.